Hello and welcome to another session of CommerceIQ's weekly news roundup, where we round up the news that you need to read to understand the state of retail e-commerce in your industry. And I am Timothy Campbell, CommerceIQ's head of industry insights. And as always, we have 4 articles for you today. So let's get into those. And the first article that we have for you is taken from the Wall Street Journal, and it's "Supermarket discounts are harder to find as food prices rise." And this is a great article, and you'll see that this is kind of a theme with the articles that we have today, is that discounts, inflation is really changing, or inflation is changing the discount landscape, essentially. So with rising costs, especially among a lot of grocery products, a lot of supermarkets have had to cut back on the amount of discounts that they offer, and this really gets into it and all the kind of cascading effects that can have on the business. There's some really cool stuff here, essentially showing that the average amount of items that are offered on discount has decreased from about 26% in pre-pandemic period to 20.5% right now. So a decrease of about 5 percentage points. So it's actually quite a, in a relatively stable environment, that's quite a substantial change. If there was a stable environment, that would be a substantial change. So quite an impact from the pandemic and also from inflation, kind of rebounding off of that. So a big impact that it had there. And of course, with inflation, consumers are also spending. They're trying to cut back on their spending. They can't cut back on all their spending. Inflation will cause them to spend more, but they're trying to buy fewer units. So volume is also down, or at least threatened. So a good look at that as well. So good article, good article to read if you have the chance. And if you're interested in reading any of these articles, just look off to the side in the comment section. You can see links to all these articles there. The second article is from Bloomberg, and it's basically the flip side of the article that I just shared, which is retailers still have a lot of extra stuff that shoppers don't want, right? So looking beyond household essentials, looking beyond food, looking to maybe bigger ticket durable goods as well as apparel. Still, consumers or rather retailers have a lot of excess inventory on their hands, and they're willing to engage in steep discounting to get rid of it. So really, the discount story depends on what category you're in. So food, discounts are lower than they normally are; they're not as frequent. A lot of other categories, discounts are actually higher than they normally would be due to excess inventory. Just goes to show you that the supply chain can be very unpredictable when you have a lot of different variables in the mix with no clear historical precedent for how to really handle it or what could happen in the future. So really interesting to keep an eye on how this changes in the future, and it's just a good article to read to understand what's happening in the meantime. The third article here, taking a little bit of moving on to a different topic here, and this is CNBC, who needs another subscription service? Walmart is betting its millions of customers do. So it's a look at Walmart Plus, and it's a look at, maybe what makes Walmart Plus a little bit different, or what their plan is to get subscribers to boost their business. I would argue that the dominant differentiator for Walmart Plus compared to, say, Prime or other subscription services is really its free delivery of groceries, in a relatively timely fashion. That is really their key differentiator. That's where they can provide value to the shopper where they're not getting that sort of value somewhere else. I mean, consider the fact that, Walmart has almost 5,000 supercenters. They can deliver, to most places in the U.S. very rapidly, fresh, not just, canned goods, but fresh grocery as well from those stores. it's definitely a differentiator from the competition. And of course, consumers already have, they already have other places where they get, video streaming, or where they get, free shipping on, bigger ticket, more durable goods, right? Grocery is really the key differentiator for Walmart if it wants to make this program work. And the last article here is from The Guardian, and it's our new focus on the UK and on Europe. This is an economic one, but UK's pro-growth government has only made a recession more likely. Of course, just in really the first few weeks of the new prime minister's term here, a move that she made, which was to unveiling a plan to cut taxes, actually the broadest or most significant tax cuts in 50 years for the UK, intended to spur growth, actually had the opposite effect, as there was essentially no revealed way or planned way to pay for those cuts, and it sent investor confidence in the UK market tumbling down. And now, of course, they're having to charge much higher rates to attract the same sort of investor interest that was there before. So it kind of had a counterintuitive impact, largely because the current government might not have considered all of the secondary effects that this announcement could have. Actually sent the bond market into a bit of a crisis, and the pension funds actually could have become insolvent had not the Bank of England stepped in to support them, as well as the currency, as well as the pound. So kind of a good lesson on unintended side effects of actions, as well as making sure you just do all your research, I suppose, when determining what happens in your own business. And that is relevant for the world of retail e-commerce as well, because you need to have all the data in front of you. You need to have all the facts in front of you before you decide to invest in discounting or invest in retail media, or having all the data makes a big impact on determining where you're going to spend your limited dollars investment into your business, and where you're going to invest time as well as energy, because you might get a suboptimal result if you don't actually look at the data in front of you. That sums up our 4 articles for the day. As always, we typically do this most every week. So check us out next week to see what 4 articles you need to read to understand the state of retail e-commerce in the industry. And until then, have a great rest of your week, and I will look forward to presenting again.